I should have canceled my wedding the night before when I found the text message. Instead, I decided that 200 people needed to witness what my fiancé and my own brother had been doing behind my back for over a year. By the time I was done at that altar, their lives were destroyed, my family was shattered, and the story had gone viral across the entire country. But for the first time in years, I was finally free. My name's Jake. I'm 32, and 3 months ago, I thought I had everything figured out. Six-figure job in Chicago, beautiful fiancée named Sarah, and a wedding planned that would be the event of the year. What I didn't know was that two people I trusted most were planning to make it memorable for completely different reasons. I was marrying Sarah in October. We'd been together for 2 years, and she seemed perfect. Smart, funny, got along with my family, especially my older brother Alex. Maybe a little too well, but I'll get to that. Alex was going to be my best man. He was everything I wanted to be. Successful lawyer, confident, the kind of guy who could walk into any room and own it. Dad always said, Alex got the charm, I got the brains. Turns out, I should have been more worried about what else Alex was getting. Looking back, the red flags were everywhere. Sarah working late more often, Alex visiting more frequently, claiming he wanted brother bonding time before the wedding, inside jokes between them that I wasn't part of. But there was one moment that should have told me everything I needed to know. 2 weeks before the wedding, we're all at Sunday dinner. Alex says something, I can't even remember what, and Sarah laughs so hard she nearly spits out her wine. The way she looked at him in that moment, I actually thought, wow, they really get along. I'm so lucky my fiancé and brother are close. How's that for irony? October 14th. The night before my wedding. I'm at the hotel with Alex, going over final details. Sarah is at another hotel with the bridesmaids, that old tradition about not seeing each other before the ceremony. Little did I know, she had other plans for that evening. We ordered room service, we're laughing, talking about the future. Alex is giving me marriage advice. Looking back, the audacity is almost impressive. Around 10:30, Alex goes to the bathroom, leaves his phone on the table next to his beer. That's when I saw the notification that changed everything. But here's what's crazy. If he had just taken his phone with him, none of what happened next would have happened. Their entire plan would have worked. The message was from Sarah, sent at 10:25 p.m. Alex, tonight was mind-blowing. I'm still shaking from what you did to me. Tomorrow I'll be your little brother's wife, but I'll always belong to you. There was also a photo. I'll spare you the details, but let's just say there was no question about what happened just hours earlier. But that wasn't even the worst part. I took pictures of everything with my own phone. Years in IT taught me to always back up important data. I had no idea how important this backup would become. When Alex came back, I kept my voice steady, told him I was tired, needed sleep before the big day. He punched my shoulder playfully and said, "Get some rest, little brother. Tomorrow you're going to be the luckiest man alive."
Wow.
The irony was suffocating. After he left, I sat on that hotel bed and let the reality hit me. My fiancé and my brother, the night before my wedding. But instead of falling apart, something else took over. Something cold and calculating. They thought they had won. They thought they had played me perfectly. They had no idea what was coming. Most people would have called off the wedding, confronted them privately, maybe thrown some punches and called it a day. But see, they hadn't just betrayed me. They had made a fool of me in front of my family, my friends, everyone I cared about. So I decided that if they wanted to make a mockery of my wedding, I'd give them exactly what they deserved. public humiliation that would match the scale of their betrayal. I called Tom, my college friend and groomsman, explained everything. Within an hour, I had a team of allies who understood the mission. But there was one more call I made, one that would ensure this story didn't stay in that church. I also called Marcus, who happened to work in local media. Let's just say he was very interested in covering what promised to be the most dramatic wedding of the year. By 6 a.m., everything was in place. October 15th. The day that was supposed to be the happiest of my life became something entirely different. But here's the thing. I was calm. Calmer than I'd ever been. I got dressed, went through all the motions, shook hands with guests, smiled for photos, played the nervous groom perfectly. Sarah looked beautiful walking down that aisle. Alex stood beside me as my best man, probably thinking he'd pulled off the crime of the century. Neither of them had any idea that 200 people were about to witness the most epic takedown in wedding history. Father Martinez begins the ceremony. Everything's going according to script. Then he asks the question every wedding guest has heard 1,000 times. If anyone has any objections to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your peace. Usually, this is just ceremonial, a formality. Not today. Actually, Father Martinez, I do have an objection. The silence was deafening. Sarah's face went white. Alex tried to grab my arm. I pulled away and looked out at 200 confused faces. Before we continue, I think everyone here should know exactly who they're watching get married. What happened next had been planned down to the minute. Last night, I discovered that my fiancé and my best man, my own brother, have been having an affair behind my back. You could have heard a pin drop. But rather than tell you about it, I thought I'd show you. Tom and 3 other groomsmen began moving through the congregation, holding up tablets and phones. The screenshots I'd taken were crystal clear, undeniable. But that wasn't all. The timestamps show they were together last night, just hours before the ceremony, making a mockery of everyone here who came to celebrate what they thought was love.
Wow!
The gasps from the congregation were audible. Sarah tried to run, Alex was frozen in place, my parents looked like they'd been hit by a truck. But I wasn't done. And since both of you chose to make a joke of this sacred ceremony, I thought it was only right that the truth be revealed in the same public place where you planned to complete your lies. This is where things got really interesting. Oh, and one more thing. I gestured to Marcus, who had been filming everything from the back of the church. This is all being documented for a story that will run on Channel 7 tomorrow morning. The chaos that erupted was unlike anything I'd ever seen. Sarah was sobbing, Alex was trying to push through the crowd, guests were shouting, and my parents were having what could only be described as complete breakdowns. But I was already walking down that aisle, head held high, leaving behind the 2 people who had tried to destroy me. Within 24 hours, the story was everywhere. Local news, social media, national outlets, groom exposes affair at his own wedding was trending on Twitter. But the real consequences were just beginning. Sarah's marketing company fired her within a week. Turns out, companies that pride themselves on family values don't love employees who become viral sensations for adultery. Alex had it worse. As a partner at his law firm, he was held to the highest ethical standards. When the story went national, the firm asked for his resignation within 72 hours. But there was something else. Something I found out 3 weeks later that made their betrayal even more twisted.
Remember how I said they'd been planning this for over a year? I wasn't exaggerating. Through mutual friends and some detective work, I learned the real timeline. Their affair had started just 6 months after Sarah and I began dating. Every family dinner, every holiday, every moment I thought we were building something beautiful, they were planning my destruction. But here's the part that really gets me. Alex had actually encouraged me to propose to Sarah, helped me pick out the ring, gave me advice on how to make it special. He was literally coaching me through proposing to his mistress. The level of betrayal was so deep, so calculated, that when I finally understood the full scope of it, I wasn't even angry anymore. I was just amazed at how perfectly everything had worked out. Here's something I've never shared publicly, something that even my closest friends don't know. There was one more piece of evidence on Alex's phone that night, something that would have destroyed him even more completely. But I chose not to use it, not because I felt sorry for him, but because what I had was already enough to get the justice I wanted. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is choose restraint. Maybe someday I'll tell that story too. Today, I'm living in Austin. New job, new city, new everything. The story still follows me sometimes. People recognize me, want to hear the details. But here's what's funny. I'm happier than I've ever been. Sarah moved back to Wisconsin to live with her parents. Last I heard, she's working at a small local company, keeping a very low profile. Alex took a job at a tiny law firm in another state. Their affair ended almost immediately after the wedding incident. Apparently, public humiliation isn't great for romance. My parents are still devastated. Family gatherings are complicated. But I sleep better at night than I have in years. The thing about betrayal is that it reveals who people really are. Sarah and Alex thought they were smarter than me, more strategic, better at playing the game. They forgot one crucial detail. I'm the one who taught Alex how to use technology properly. They also underestimated how far someone will go when they've been pushed past their breaking point. Do I regret it? Not in a second. Would I do it again? In a heartbeat. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't just living well. It's making sure everyone knows exactly why you had to start over in the first place.